Hello, good evening and welcome. It is Saturday night, 8 o'clock. My name's Paul and I use hypnosis, happiness and hijinks to help people overcome those niggly problems in life and get you back on the right track. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear Vincent, happy birthday to you. Yeah, today is or would have been Vincent van Gogh's birthday. He was born today in 1853. And I've been thinking about him for a number of reasons today. First of all, because my good friend and business partner, Amanda, told me that there's a major exhibition, I think it's either just starting or has just started in London. And apparently for the first time ever, they've got pretty much all of his master works in one place at the same time, and I need to get myself down there because there's a couple of pieces of his that I really like and enjoy. But that's not why I was thinking about him. I was thinking about him in relation to a couple of things that he said during his lifetime. I mean, most people know Van Gogh as being the nutcase that lopped his ear off in a fit of pique or whatever and gave it to a lady, a prostitute, sex worker, and just said, take this. And that's why people know him. And that's sad because this guy was an incredible genius. His work is so amazing and his life is such a life of twists and turns and downs and more downs and a couple of ups. It's really worth knowing a little bit about him. Sorry, I got confused there. Because he actually said some things that are really profound. He said that if you had a skill, you were kind of duty bound to do the best you possibly could with that skill and just forget what anybody else thought about it. He said public opinion doesn't matter. He was treated like a nutcase, a madman, an idiot. The poor guy lived and died in poverty, which is ironic given that a few of his pieces now are amongst the most expensive artworks available today. The Sunflowers one is probably the most expensive painting ever, I think. And that got me to thinking, are you still one of these people that thinks about what other people think about you and what you're doing and why you're doing it? Doesn't it make your life hard? Isn't it tough that you are spending all that time worrying about what other people think about you? I mean, look at me, for example, For the longest time ever at work, when we used to work at the Channel Tunnel, I wore a suit and a tie. It didn't do me any good. Wearing a suit and tie didn't do me any good. And you know what? I became a revolutionary. I stopped wearing a tie. And that didn't change. People still treated me the same. I still got the same amount of work done. And I just felt more comfortable because I used to find ties quite stifling. Then I know a year or so later, I went fully renegade and I stopped wearing suits altogether. Yes, I wore clothes when I went to work, but I just wore whatever I fancied. And again, my work didn't suffer. People still treated me the same. And I was just much more comfortable. And I just stopped worrying. I used to worry all the time about what people thought about me, whether they thought my work was good, bad or indifferent. It just, everything bugged me. Everything that people could think about me really got to me. And it's strange because you know what? People aren't thinking about you. They're not thinking about you at all. They're thinking about themselves and how people think about them and what they've got to have for tea and a job they've got to finish and all this kind of thing. And I know this for a fact because I demonstrated this several years ago. I don't know, 10, 15 years ago now, I was doing, no, more than that actually, I was doing health and safety. I was a health and safety manager at work. And my boss said, right, go and do this presentation. And I prepared this presentation in the worst way possible. It was death by PowerPoint. There was a million slides and like 500,000 words per slide. And I didn't really know the material and all that kind of thing. Plus it was my first ever attempt at public speaking. It was in front of my peers and people senior to me. So everything that could go wrong was going to go wrong. and I remember I was wearing this pale green short sleeve shirt, and I get warm very, very quickly, especially when I'm nervous. And I started this presentation and I started sweating buckets. I mean, within about 5 minutes, the green shirt was black and the sweat pouring from me and everything. And the reason I know that people were only thinking about themselves and not about me was because not one single person said, Paul, take a break, go and sort yourself out. And I could see people literally squirming in their seats thinking, thank God it's not me, and you know, how can I get out of here really quick and all the rest of it. So stop worrying about what other people think. They're not thinking about you. They've got enough on their own plates to worry about without worrying about you. It's one of these strange things that we're worried about. You know, is my car as good as the next guy's? Am I dressed as well as the next person? Am I holding my knife and fork in the right way? And so on and so on and so on and so on. Will I impress this person? Will I, you know, do this? Will I do that? Will they think it's good? Will they think it's bad? Will they think it's indifferent? Is my grass greener than the guys next door? Stop it. Your life will become so much easier, so much simpler, and so much, no, that doesn't work. It will become less stressful. You will save yourself years and years and years of grief and stress and worry and unnecessary thoughts, all this kind of thing. If you stop trying to outthink other people by worrying about what they're thinking, there's no need. You are your own person. Stop trying to live other people's lives, yeah? Stop trying to be somebody else. Stop trying to, you know, if you're a guy and you read all these magazines like Men's Health and GQ and all the rest of it, you do not have to have a six-pack ab, you know, six-pack abs even. You do not have to have a chest like Arnold Schwarzenegger. There is no compunction. There isn't a rule book that goes, okay, you're 45 now and you must have a house, a husband, 2.2 children, a BMW or a Mercedes, a high-paying job, vacations in this place and that place. The rule book doesn't exist. So make your own rules. You know, stop trying to live by other people's standards. Stop trying to be the person that's in the magazine. You know, that's not you. That's a person in a magazine who's been paid to model. You know, guys, I don't know if you know this, but if you look at something like Men's Health and you see a guy that's all ripped and everything, he doesn't normally look like that. He probably spent, you know, 6 weeks of intensive training and stripped down diet because he had that photo shoot booked and they want him to look a certain way. Film stars, Daniel Craig in Casino Royale, the first James Bond movie that he made. There's that famous scene where he comes out of the water and this guy looks really, really cool. You know, he's got, you know, big shoulders, big chest, fairly flat stomach, and he's looking really, really fit. I read somewhere that he spent 6 months of really, really hard training to get that look. And all of the guys that play, or all the people that play superheroes, same thing. Yeah, they look really, really buff in the movie, but the life before that movie is life of, I guess you could call it deprivation. They eat very strict diets. They're working 6 to 8 hours a day in the gym. They're doing things that they wouldn't normally do to get that look that's required for the movie. Yeah, you can't do that. You know, you've got a job, you've got a life, you've got friends, you've got stuff to do. So there's no way on this earth that you can look like that. You know, if you're a woman and you're looking through magazines and go, I wish I looked like that, or I wish I looked like this person or that person, stop it. Again, though the women are professional models, they know how to stand, they know how to look. They've got makeup artists and hairdressers and the photographer shooting them in the right light and all this kind of thing. Stop trying to live to other people's standards. Create your own standards and live those. It is the only way. Because, you know, on your deathbed, are you going to be lying there thinking, I really wish I was more like insert name of famous person? No, you're not. You're going to be wishing you spent more time with your friends or with your kids or with your grandchildren or doing stuff that you enjoy doing. You are not going to be on your deathbed going, oh, I wish I spent 6 more hours in the gym or, you know, bought the best makeup or whatever it is, you're not going to be thinking that. It will not occur to you. You know, when you get old and grey, you know, and you're sitting in your rocking chair on your porch at night, you're not going to be thinking, oh, well, you know, I could have gone to the gym a bit longer and I could have bought that extra, you know, special super protein food. And yeah, I should have gone on the XYZ diet and I shouldn't ridden my bike 50,000 times a week and I wouldn't have the beer belly now. Okay, yes, you've got to look after yourself. You've got to take care of yourself. You've got to eat well. You've got to exercise. Absolutely. But you don't have to go to the other extreme. Unless, of course, it's your job or it's something you do for pleasure. I've got a couple of friends and they go to CrossFit, which I think is absolute lunacy because it looks terrifying, the amount of effort and stress that you have to put into that to stay in, what's it called, the box or the wad or whatever the thing's called, I can't remember now, yeah? But they love it, they eat it, breathe it and sleep it, that's their thing. They're not doing it for somebody else, they're not doing it to look a certain way, they're not doing it to, you know, pass a test, they're doing it because they love it, and that's fine, that's different. They're not trying to live the magazine life, they're not trying to live the Instagram life, they're living their life. So my question to you is, what is your life? What do you want? What are you doing? Are you doing it because you want to do it? Are you in that job because you like to be in that job? Are you wearing the clothing that you want to wear, or are you wearing it because you think other people might like it? Take some time to think. I mean, tomorrow is Sunday. You know, hopefully you've got a bit of time free tomorrow to sit down and think about these things. Think about who you are, where you want to be, and why you're doing the things you're doing. And if you find that you're doing things because you think other people think you should be doing it, then in my view, stop and go do something that you want to do, that you enjoy doing. That's it for tonight. Listen, if you got any comments, I'd really appreciate if you're dropping down in the box whether you think it's good, bad or indifferent. If you think that another topic that you might be interested in discussing with me, I'd really appreciate it. Also, please share this video because it would help me a lot to get the word out about doing these every single night at 8 o'clock UK time. So thanks for watching. My name is Paul and I use hypnosis, happiness and hijinks to help people overcome those problems in life and get themselves back on track. I will see you tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Bye.